I just focused on making money. On New Year's Eve of the millennium, I said, this isn't worth it anymore. I had written 30 screenplays and 10 books. One of my books was published by Penguin USA. It was the big book of their summer, which is a big deal in publishing in the real world. And that year is the year that I started driving a taxi and continued to drive a taxi for 6 years. And at the end of that 6 years, I said, I had the big book of Penguin summer. It sold almost 100,000 copies by this point. But you don't get a lot of money from selling books. I said, it's just not worth it to be a writer. And I quit writing. And I did not write again for almost 8 years. I just focused on making money. I just wanted to be, like they say, fat and happy. I got very fat, but not so happy. On paper, I was happy. I had the big house. I had my dream car, BMW X5. I wasn't in the rat race. I was building houses and selling butter and making money, but I wasn't happy, and I didn't quite know it until one night I was at a men's self-help campfire in October of 2008. And I went for help to the men's self-help campfire. What does that look like? That looks like 18 naked guys dancing around a campfire, and I'm one of them. And I'm standing there, and I'm looking at the stars, and I see these beautiful stars in the sky, and then I see this guy jump over the campfire. And I noticed he was very hairy. And then I saw the shaman on the other side of the yellow and orange crackling flames. You don't know it yet, but you're already dead. What are you talking about, man? I'm the most successful guy on this team. 8 years ago, I was a freaking taxi driver. Now I'm a millionaire. I was living on a little boat. Now I live in a mansion. You're already dead and you just don't know it. I didn't know what the hell this guy was talking about. I had no freaking clue. But I couldn't get that out of my mind. And then it came to be New Year's Day of 2009. And I pulled out my pad of paper and a pen. And I asked myself a question inspired by the shaman. I don't really know what it means to be already dead. I feel like I'm alive. But what if he's right? What if I am already dead? Or what if this was going to be the last year of my life? If this was going to be the last year of my life, what would I want to accomplish? And that question changed my whole life. I made a whole list. I made a list of like 15 things. Don't be afraid to admit to yourself what you want. If you had only 1 year left and you weren't afraid to fail, and you could do anything you want, what would you want to accomplish? The first thing I wrote down was, I have to write my book about what I learned at the Wharton Business School that helped me to become successful once I stopped trying to be a writer and a movie star and focused on being a businessman making money. I made money. By 2009, I had made a lot of money. And by the way, going into the recession, I was doing the income doubler. And doing the income doubler and being in the recession was the greatest because I had a positive attitude and I was focused on doubling my income and everybody else was moaning and groaning about the recession. And when the recession was over, I was sad because it's easy to make money. It's the ones who really try hard during the hard times, and especially in marketing. If you do lots of marketing during the recession, you will really be on top because everybody else is cutting their marketing and other promotional activities in the recession to try to save money instead of taking market share and mind share. Who here is a writer? Raise your hand. Let's see the hands. Who here is a speaker? Raise your hand. More speakers than writers. Who here is a coach or a consultant? Raise your hands. See? The worst is being a writer because there's a lot of hard work that goes into writing all by yourself. You have to do it all by yourself. And you know what? Nobody reads. You really have to do the audible version of your book because that's really the only chance you got for anyone to hear, to take in your true message, because nobody reads. I'll tell you a quick story about one of my mentors. One day when we were living in the big 3,000 square foot villa I built for Allie in the Hollywood Hills, and I came home, I went to my mailbox and I opened it up and there were 3 padded envelopes in there. One of them was from Books A Million, and I ripped it open, and in there was a book by one of my mentors. And the next padded envelope had the same book from another book company. And the next one had a book from another book company. It was the same book that I got 3 times in the mailbox, and I didn't order any of them. No, it wasn't a message. It was marketing. Because the next day, I got 3 more. And the next day I got 1 more. I got 7 copies of the book. And I opened the first one. I opened it to try to read this book. And it was so bad, I couldn't get more than a paragraph into this book. It was so bad. And then at the end of the week, I got an email from this mentor. Hey everybody, I am so grateful for all of your help in making me so proud to be able to announce that my new book is the #1 book on the New York Times bestseller list. Thank you. I couldn't have done it without your help. I was a $10,000 client of this guy. All of his high-level clients got these books sent to him, purchased by him, sent by him in the mail. That's a clue about the New York Times bestseller list. And why would a person do that? Because a book is marketing.